how it can actually
Yes.
weaken our defenses. And like I said, we're getting into the season where everybody's going to be up and about, trying to have fun, or even cater to parties or something. But we're going to be outside. It's December. So how can we make
Yes,
sure that
yes.
we're not letting
Dirty
stress?
December.
We're going. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to actually dirty it, but okay. December is just here. If it's going to be a regular month, we'll yet to find out. But indeed, we'll be having more insight on what we need to do and how we need to keep in tip-top shape so stress doesn't weigh us down. But let's even get into what stress is, because I know that there are different types of stress, but I want you to help differentiate between what acute stress is and chronic stress, and how indeed it affects a person.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. So when we talk about stress, we talk about stress is an overwhelming feeling of pressure for an individual. But really, when we talk about stress, we're talking about that is what the individual feels, right? Stress is actually your body response, right, to threat or to pressure. So what does that mean? So the ancient human being developed the stress mechanism because they're in the same environment with wild animals. So because of that constant threat and danger, they have to either, wait and fight or run away. So when we talk about your stress response, we're talking about your fight or your fright response to danger, or threat, or pressure. Now, when it is short-lived, in other words, when this mechanism is activated, it is short-lived. It can make us alert. It can make us perform better in situations. So when we talk about acute stress, we're talking about when your stress mechanism is activated and it's short-lived, it can potentiate you. For instance, you have an interview, right?
Okay.
You want to read overnight. Your body kicking the stress response, right? It releases some hormones, adrenaline, non-adrenaline, cortisol, right? They increase your heart rate, increase your pulse rate, increase your sweating. Then cortisol helps in producing, more glucose to keep you going. Now, what you have there is that the system is an overdrive to help you go through that process, whether you run away or you stay.
Okay.
So when it is short-lived, right, it is beneficial. It keeps you alert. It helps you perform better. However, imagine that system in overdrive is there for a long time. What will happen? It will begin to shut your system down.
Okay.
So acute stress is stress response that is short-lived, which can keep us alert, can make us perform better in situations, and then that is good. But if the same stress is triggered all the time, maybe by traffic, a pressure, or argument, and then it's sustained, right, then it can then cause damage. So if it's short-lived, it's good. If it's persistent and it's long-lived, it begins to get damaged. Example I tell people is this: if you have a car race, right, you have what called the turbo, right? The turbo pulls it in the fast speed. Now you don't use the turbo all the time because you pull the engine on a lot of pressure.
True.
Right?
True.
You only need that cost of speed when you're about to win. So most race drivers choose the time to press that turbo. But imagine you have your turbo all the time. The engine, what's going to happen is going to overheat and it will get damaged with time.
Okay.
So that's the difference between acute stress and chronic stress.
Stress. So we don't want to get into that point. We don't want to be at that point where we're always, pressing, getting in there and putting all our energies, and then we burn out because
Yes.
that can actually just lead to something else. But how does the immune system work to actually protect us? And I'm talking about this because of stress and how it can affect the immune system. How does that correlate?
Okay.
Okay,
so our immune system, you have what we call the innate immune system, which is what you're born with. And then you have what we call the acquired immune system, which you acquire, for instance, when you get exposed to any foreign invaders, right? Your innate immune system tries to battle them, while your acquired immune system produces antibodies against them.
Okay.
Now, and that is what the body does to pave or to wear away infections in our body. Now, when you have stress, right? When stress is acute, it can potentiate the immune system because during stress, many cells are released into the bloodstream, right, from the immune system. and then helps, with inflammation. At this point, it is positive. But when your stress hormone is high, it will then lead to production of pro-inflammatory cells, and then this can then affect the immune system to work effectively. So stress, the immune system is always there to protect us against invaders, whether bacteria, protozoans, or even cancer cells.
Okay.
Now, in short stress, they are activated to help. But with long-standing chronic stress, right, the circulating cortisol leads to a lot of inflammation, and then this affects the immune system from weighing of infection. So chronic stress affects the immune system function, and then they're not able to combat, those their function in terms of helping against infections and diseases.
So let's even get into it because, just talking about it, there are certain mechanisms that could connect to chronic stress and then thereby weakening a person's immune response. What specific mechanisms are these?
So the mechanisms is actually the inflammation, right? Because with long-standing chronic stress, there is more inflammation. Now, inflammation itself, which is what the immune system does, is a necessary short-term response for eliminating infections and initiating healing. But with chronic systemic stress, it leads to chronic inflammation, and then this then leads to dysregulation of the immune system. So what happens in chronic stress, there's a lot of inflammation, and then you affect the immune system from functioning well in combating infections and also other diseases.
Okay.
I hope that is simplified.
Yeah, you just clarified a very, very simple, it's not complex. Even if you're not a medical student, I'm sure you get that one. So it's just inflammations, right? Just bear that in mind. But now let's even talk about signs. How can one even, figure out what the signs are when one is going through some chronic stress that can impact on our immune system? Are there things that we can actually identify, or it just happens?
Okay, so when you talk about the symptoms of chronic stress, right, it affects all body system.
Okay.
And so when you are then in stress, what are the things you should look out for? So first of all, when you talk about the cognitive or the cognitive process, when you to forget things more often, or you can keep track of things, right?
Okay.
Now, they're telling you that you're under a lot of stress.
Right.
When you find out that your ability to make split decision, judgment is getting impaired, you're not as fast and alert as you should be, right? Then those are telltale signs that you're under a lot of stress. Okay. And then when you go to the body system, right, muscle pain, right, or you start having acne, all these are things that points out, telling you about, your stress level is on the high side. And then you need to find a way to, release your stress. Then emotions, you notice you're getting moody, right? Or you're getting overwhelmed, or you're getting angry, touchy, right? Irritated, right? Now, those are telling you that your stress level is on the high side.
Right.
And then if you then come to other things like, fast heart rate, right? Then general loss of sex drive, right?
Days.
Then you notice that you're a lot of stress. And then when we come to behavioral symptoms, change in eating habits, right? Or you find out that your urges to go into using substance, because some people find a way, a lot of stress, and they just want to find a very short way to get out of it. So they go find out that increase to take alcohol, to use substance abuses. All these are telltale signs that you're under a lot of stress and it's already impacting your health. So you go for your cognitive function, for memory, judgment, inability to remember things, inability to keep up, lack of focus, lack of concentration, right? And then you go to behavioral symptoms, you're overwhelmed, you feel irritated, you're very pessimistic, you're not inspired. They're telling you your stress level is getting to you. And then bodily signs. A woman, pimples are coming out, which you call acne, right?
Right.
And then you see in some cases, some women, they're in stress, there is hormonal imbalance, and then they're not able to see their menstrual cycle, right? You've seen cases like that. So those are the things that tells you that your stress level is really high, and you need to find a way to ease out the stress you're facing.
Okay, so before I let you go, I want you to, also enlighten us. What are the, lifestyle factors that one can help to mitigate, all these effects on stress on our immune system?
Okay, so the certain things that, number one, like I said, you must first recognize your stress triggers.
Okay.
Right? Because remember we said that when you face pressure or threat, the body naturally triggers that hormone or your stress response.
Right.
And so you should then understand that, okay, when I face, and before people talk about their stress, is because it has been happening for a long, long time. Stress is a slow creeper. So it's not saying when you say I'm stressed today, it didn't start today. It has been there over weeks. When you're exposed to all these triggers, whether from traffic or from work overload or argument, relationship issues, right? So you need to understand all these triggers, and then you know that as long as those triggers are there, then your stress level is going to continue going up. So you then have to find a way, how do I ease out, right? How do I ease out those things, right? So you talk about having a time management routine, getting time for yourself, when to relax, hang out with people. What do you love to do that makes you feel, more relaxed? Diet can also play a major role, right? Nutrients, food rich in nutrients like vitamin C, antioxidant can counteract the effect of cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Right? Exercise helps to produce what we call endorphins that makes you feel good, right? So things you can adapt, exercise, right? Eating nutritious food, taking time out to enjoy yourself. You must create time for yourself to relieve your stress. Go out, hang out with friends, right? Where you can just joke, and then you can also foster creativity. What do you like in your leisure time? Those are ways where you can, dissipate your stress, and then your body gets in a very low, in a better place where stress is no longer there, and then it can shut down your stress response.
Okie doke. Thank you, Doc. So it is important for us to know that even when you want to go and dirty the December, don't allow stress to get to you.
Exactly.
So my days.
You must endeavor you take care. So you must watch out for those signs and symptoms that we've talked about.
Right.
And as soon as you need it, you have to then look at, okay, what am I doing? What are my stress triggers? What can I balance it? Exactly. Work-life balance. Have time for yourself. Self-love, right? Go out. Have a nice time. Exercise. Eat healthy. Hang out with friends. Listen to music. Play a game. Anything that can just help you to distress, right? And then keep you in a good mood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen. It's been very insightful today. I have actually gotten a few tips that I'm going to be working with. And I'm sure Lagos as well will be working with them as well. However, Lagos, for you to learn more about how you can be in tip-top shape and get the right insurance plan for you. Yes, your HMO plan for you to, there are different plans. But for you to get the right one, right, you can reach out to AXA Mansard on their website at www.axamansard.com or call toll-free 0700 AXA Mansard. Reach out to them on all their social media platforms. That's X or Twitter. There's Facebook and LinkedIn at AXA Mansard. However, on Instagram, it is at @axamansard_, and you will be attended to whatever questions you have. And it is very easy to get on the plan. Well, that's how we draw a curtain today on the AXA Mansard Safe Cruise. It comes your way Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So Friday, you need to come through to find out what we'll be talking about. But in the meantime, Lagos, do stay safe and take care of your health.
AXA Mansard Safe Cruise. Brought to you by AXA Mansard Insurance PLC. AXA, know you can.